So what's up, everybody? Welcome on in to episode 5 of our podcast. We got a lot of stuff to talk about this week today, as of day of recording, January 14th, 2021. A lot of cool stuff going down this week, not only in my life, but and on streams, but a lot of big news, especially in the gaming world. A lot of cool new game reveals that we're going to talk about today, as well as some new products and just some general news. So, yeah. Looking forward to this one for sure. Definitely going to be a little bit lighter than last week's. So last week we had some heavy discussion. If you checked out the last week's episode, you would know. If you haven't, go check it out. But just be wary. It gets pretty real. So yeah, before we also get into this, I would like to take a second and announce that we have a sponsor for the podcast 2 weeks in a row here. Pretty excited for that. We actually just secured this sponsorship late last night, while we were streaming, actually. So without further ado, let me let you all know that this week's podcast episode is sponsored by a website that is focused on house sitting as a service. Is something you may not have known existed. The idea is the homeowners get a peace of mind, the sitters receive temporary housing, the back and forth, give and take. I think it has a lot of potential, honestly. They reached out to me. They wanted to do a sponsorship opportunity. They felt our brand fit well with their brand. In addition to monetary compensation, they've also offered to throw our name on the actual company, which is wild to me. And I don't know, I felt like it couldn't hurt, right? No press is bad press. So this company focuses mostly on homes and farmlands in the Midwest. So if you are interested in having your house sitted for, make sure to go check out Cliffy's Ranch Sitting Service for all your sitting service needs. I got a lot of faith in this company. It looks good. They got a good logo. They got a good feel. Name rolls off the tongue. I think there's a big need for it, and if you want to, you got a need, make sure to give them a call. So yeah, let's get into some of what's been going down this week on streams. I guess for us, really on streams. The previous week we did a lot of indie games. This week less so, but we ended up playing our final game of the Thanks What Is It event, where I've been playing a bunch of games that people have sent to me over the past, I don't know, months, years, whatever, and taking the time to stream them. We ended up playing our last game on that event, and it was Monster Train, which Vox Futuro, whose name you might recognize from the sponsorship this week. Maybe. Monster Train was awesome. We got to play it. It was on Steam. It was a roguelike game, similar in style to Slay the Spire, if you've played that. If you haven't, essentially you're just going through, there's waves of enemies, you're playing cards, and there's spell cards and creature cards. Highly suggest checking out that VOD. I think it's $24.99 on Steam, and I believe it's also available on the consoles as well. But I've never played Slay the Spire. It's something that I've wanted to look into playing. We may play it on our Finally tour this year. But Monster Train felt like it had different enough features to make it unique. There's a sense of I think I played like 3 or 4 different runs, and all of them felt very, very different. There was a run, I think it was like our second run in, it was awesome. We had like just the way the cards played out, we were able to like get these super beefy monsters, and it was like just ultimate domination. And I don't know, it's awesome. The art style is really cool. Would definitely go check that out if you think that's something that might be up your alley. If whether or not you've played Slay the Spire before or not, not super hard to understand or pick up on. I felt like they did a pretty good job explaining everything. So yeah, go check out Monster Train. And I think an awesome way to wrap up the Thanks What Is It event. We had a couple games in there that, were less than stellar. But overall, I think it was a cool event. I think people enjoyed it, and I'm glad that I got a chance to show off some games that, I know some people feel very strongly about, and they're some of those people's favorites games. So thank you very much, everybody who sent in for that. The other game that we've kind of been getting into, we played a little Mario Maker this week, but the other game that I started playing a little on and off was Star Wars Battlefront 2. I never really had a big interest in playing. I played the first one, the remake that was on PS4 4 or 5 years ago. I think I streamed it a couple times before getting into Mario Maker, or before we settled on Mario Maker as our like full-time thing. But really what it was for me was there's a friend of mine who I follow on Twitter, fellow streamer and funny man, Saving the Bees. had been posting clips of them playing this certain mode within the game, which isn't even the main mode. The main mode is like a giant battle thing, but there's a mode in that game where you can just play as the hero. It's called Heroes and Villains, and it's a 4v4 mode, and they've got like 10 characters from each side. So they've got like, Darth Vader and, Count Dooku and Darth Maul on the Sith side, and Boba Fett. And, on the light side, they've got all the big names: Luke Skywalker, Yoda. They've got Obi-Wan. They've got Anakin from like the Revenge of the Sith, right before he turned. From the prequel trilogy. I wish they had little baby Annie. That would be awesome too. Maybe not as strong with the Force yet, but still would be cool. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not even that big into Star Wars, but I don't know. I feel like those characters are so iconic that like you don't even have to be that big into Star Wars to like know who all of them are and enjoy it. A lot of really cool. The game looked beautiful. We were playing on Series X, and the game looked outstanding to me. Like I said, that's kind of what the appeal of it was, mostly visually, from seeing somebody post clips of it. So I had a lot of fun with it. We got Ross in. We started off not doing too hot. Eventually started catching fire, doing a little bit better. Me and Ross got a couple games in. That was fun. Got Ike into it. Didn't do so hot playing with Ike. I want to see what it's like when we can get Ross and Ike and myself all in a match together. I don't listen. I'm not trying to put the blame entirely on Ike, but I will say that like out of all the characters we could have picked, there's 10 awesome characters. Ike kept rolling with BB-8, and out of everybody he could have been, like, I appreciate Ike's spirit and that he was trying to play support for the team and try to like buff some of our power ups and stuff, which is kind of what that character does. It's just like at a certain point, it's like, man, we really need lightsaber power now. We need Megazord power now, Ike. And so I listen in games. I like playing support as well. I like playing the healer. I like playing, I like being there for the teammate. But yeah, I don't know. I think we need to get a lightsaber in his hand if we're going to be successful. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. So Monster Train, Star Wars Battlefront 2. Both great games this week. And yeah, and then just a little bit of Mario Maker yesterday. Not too wild, nothing too out of the box for us. Outside of that, the only other, I think, big thing here this week was that we got to do the spicy ramen challenge on stream, which I think of it, I think it's called Sam Yang ramen. Super spicy ramen package. You may have seen people do it on YouTube or on Twitch. Honestly, I enjoyed it a lot. It ended up not being too hot for me at all. Like it was hot, but it was like right at that level where it was like I enjoyed it. And so we did the challenge, and then yesterday I ended up trying my hand at like spicing it up and making it my own, and adding a bunch of stuff to it. Honestly, the ramen itself, just straight up without anything else added into it, easily my favorite ramen that I've had, both in like terms of like the noodle itself and the sauce and the heat and the flavor and just everything. Way better. But then yesterday we went through, added pork and cucumber and carrots and green onion, and I know I'm missing some stuff in there, but lime juice over the top. It was just awesome. It was really, really good, and not super expensive to make. A lot of fun. So I don't know. I will not lie, I may have ate too much of it. I may have learned a valuable lesson when it comes to spicy ramen and how much is appropriate, and maybe how much to eat before going to bed. But overall, I'm okay. I'm still here, still breathing, still living, doing the damn thing. So it is what it is. But yeah, definitely something I will be buying more of in the future. But that's pretty much it for us this week as far as like us, things that we've been up to. I guess the only other thing here is that, we started our stream late today and recording our podcast. I ended up, some of you may know, I'm on the hunt for housing, looking for a place to rent. And it's been a long, it's been a journey so far. And that journey is hopefully, we'll see, maybe coming to an end. Found a place, took a look, took a showing, liked it enough to put in an application. Mind you, there was a lot of other people there also putting in applications, and they also have another open house on Saturday, so we'll see. But fingers crossed, would be dope to finally get the ball moving there a little bit. Outside of our stream, some news this week. As of last week, you may know that Twitch ended up getting rid of the face of PogChamp after some highly controversial and fucked up tweets from the face of the former face of PogChamp, Gutex. We had talked about it a little bit last week about what we thought would be cool for them to do, and what they've decided to do is go ahead and it kind of feels like they piggybacked off of an idea that a popular idea that was on Twitter, which we talked about last week, was having I think it was Day 9 Gaming. It talked about building a database with a bunch of streamers' faces and cycling through them randomly. Well, what they've done in the meantime is they've got people doing the PogChamp face, the emote, and they've decided to swap one in and out each day, which has been a cool idea. I think they did a good job in selecting that as their solution to it. It's been cool. I will say, though, that it has not been all roses in that there's been some major problems with it. And actually, I believe it was on Monday, they had Critical Bard was the face of the PogChamp emote, and have to say that it went less than stellar, to be very, very polite on that. But so Monday, Critical Bard gets put on as the face of PogChamp, goes to stream, gets bombarded with trolls and all sorts of racist and bigoted comments in the chat, and just overwhelmed with it. Absolutely just trash with how, with it. Unfortunately, and it's not the first time that it's happened here on Twitch, and there's been a lot of problems along those lines in terms of like Twitch needing better moderation tools and answers, really, to the problems that we have. I saw that Bard had said something about Twitch needing to get into IP banning, which I completely agree with. Obviously, there's still ways around that via VPNs and whatnot, but there has to be something that needs to be done. Just because it's especially when we're trying to promote our streamers, you know what I mean? And I saw another thought on Twitch or on Twitter about, maybe it would be a good idea for Twitch to employ some extra moderators or something, Twitch staff, something to be in the streams of the people who are getting put on as PogChamp of the day, because it's a lot of extra attention. The whole site knows your face and has it all over the place. So, yeah. And in addition to that, in addition to, just straight up, comments in chat, they went as far as grabbing his email and signing him up for all sorts of bullshit ass newsletters and just, the worst kind of shit. And then, some of you may have heard or not, there was a clip, of something Critical Bard said on stream, referring to white lives not mattering, which I think blew up, and they caught a lot of flack for, which to me, if you want my take on it, which I will give you right now, is absolutely bullshit, because that clip was taken completely out of context, and I feel like you can listen to what he's saying on there, and if you take it at face value, sure, you could try to say that, like, oh, he's being racist about, he doesn't think that the lives of white people. That's not what the fuck he's saying. And I think you need to read between the lines, not even read between the lines, just understand the point and where he's coming from. I'm not going to get too much into it as far as like what he said. The clip is out there. You can go watch it for yourself. But, yeah, I don't know. At the end of the day, it's just, it's really unfortunate that something was supposed to be, a really good time. Obviously, I couldn't even imagine if Twitch was like, yo, Cliffy, we're going to put your face all over Twitch. Like, that'd be fucking awesome. And it just really sucks that it went down the way it did. hoping nothing but the best for Critical Bard going forth. And hopefully, as shitty of a situation as it was, hopefully, it can help to, turn the tides and get Twitch more proactive on the moderation side of things. Because like I said, it's not a brand new problem. It's something that's been going on. So, I don't know. It's we'll see where it goes from here. Hopefully they do their best to fix things. Some other news outside of Twitch, there has been some brand new stuff put out by Razer, which I don't know if you all have seen yet. Razer announced this week they have 2 brand new products, which to me are highly entertaining. They've got a face mask that is supposed to help with the coronavirus, but it looks like something straight out of Mortal Kombat. It's got voice amplification into it. It's called Project Hazel. Some of the features it boasts, it's got the respirator in it. It's got a active ventilation to help with airflow. It says it's got an auto sterilization function. It's got a UV light in the charging case to help kill bacteria, which to me sounds like a very made for TV, kind of like as seen on TV product. I don't know. We'll see. The design looks really, really cool in my opinion. Like I said, it's got voice amp technology to help ensure that your speech isn't muffled when you're masked up, as what it says on the website. Honestly, to me, this doesn't feel like it feels to me very much like many Razer products. I've never had a Razer product. I've never owned anything Razer, but to me, Razer products have always kind of been like something that was cool, probably of worth, probably not a low quality item, but I've always found that Razer stuff has been like highly overpriced and just like not super necessary. And it just feels like more along that vein. If you got the extra cash to spend, I mean, it does look fucking cool. I would honestly not be opposed to getting one just to see what Jakku could do with it, and what sort of weird voice changer stuff you could throw in there, and just to have some fun with it. But yeah, so they put that out. They also put out and showed off this brand new gaming chair called Project Brooklyn. Has a 60-inch screen that comes out of the back of the chair, and it's like a semicircle screen. It's super futuristic. It looks like something out of a movie. I can only imagine what something like that would cost. Again, straight along Razer's MO, in my opinion, just some super unnecessary, super overpriced stuff. But looks fun. I would not be opposed to getting one. You probably won't see me with one unless I'm at some event or with somehow Jakku has managed to procure one. Yeah, I don't know. Some really wild. It kind of reminds me of like they showed it off it was at a larger convention. I think it was called CES. I'm not super familiar with the convention itself, but it really reminds me of here in Chicago. They have the auto show every year where they show off like all the cars with like the concept cars and stuff. I'm not a huge car dude, but like that's what it reminds me of, is like, here is the future car that it's just a prototype. It'll never happen, but it'd be interesting to see if any of this happens. I feel like out of the two, the mask is probably much more likely, and maybe I haven't looked that much into it. Maybe these are for sure things coming as opposed to just concept designs, but yeah, I don't know. Pretty wild. Definitely worth looking into if you haven't already. The other really big piece of, I guess, news, outside of just straight up, as far as like new video games and stuff coming out, which I'm very excited. There's a lot of new stuff coming out they've announced this week, but on Twitch, the record for concurrent viewership was broken this week by Fortnite streamer the Gref G, who ended up cracking 2.1 million viewers on Twitch, which is wild. I think from what I was looking up, I thought he had broke Ninja's record from back in March of 2018 when Ninja was playing Fortnite with Drake, which I think was 650,000. But from what I was reading, it looked like he had actually broken his own record that I guess he had already broken Ninja's record back in December during some another Fortnite event. But regardless, 2.1 million is not just breaking the record; it's smashing it. So that's a shout out. To be fair, I've not heard of Gref G prior to this. Obviously, know who he is now. But yeah, it was during a custom Fortnite skin reveal, which Fortnite, for those of you who don't know, has started within the past, I guess, year or so. My timeline might be wrong on that, but the past year or so, starting to create skins in game based off of some of the top streamers, content creators, and I think it's called the Icon series. But Ninja has one. I forget who else has one. I think Pokemon has one. But yeah, very, very exciting times. I mean, I vividly remember when Ninja was playing with Drake, where I was when that happened, and groundbreaking in its own right. To have somebody huge from outside of Twitch, pop culture wise, as big as Drake is getting involved. But yeah, 2.1 million viewers is wild, and so it's really cool to see. It's cool to see that there's still records being broken, and huge amounts of support and people coming into Twitch. I mean, I'm sure within that 2.1 million, there is a large amount of people who were not on Twitch at all. That's, to me, that's awesome to get new people involved, and get new faces on the platform. Always a good thing. But yeah, so speaking of breaking records and viewership and all that, I have a little bit of an announcement to make today that nobody knows about. A little while back, some of you may remember, Twitch announced a feature using channel points, where Twitch chat could essentially use their channel points to help increase the viewership of the streamer. Well, as of today, right before stream, actually, I got an email saying that I was going to be included in the beta. I've been one of the people who have been selected to be in the slow beta for that. So it's called Boost the Stream. As per the email, it says, what is Boost the Stream? Boost the Stream is a new community challenge where viewers can pool channel points to unlock a boost reward. The boost reward promotes your stream to highly visible parts of Twitch. The promotion can help more viewers discover you, your community, and your content. So that's that. It's pretty awesome. I'm pretty excited to see it. They say the amount of channel points it'll take in order to do that is different depending on the size of the streamer. So that's kind of like one of the skeptical things I was skeptical about hearing it initially. I can tell you straight up, based off of how Twitch scales things according to your channel when it comes to bounties, which is the only other reference point I have for that, not really the best. So we'll see. Hopefully it'll be a little bit better and it won't be too outrageous or higher than it should be. But there's supposed to be some sort of thing that goes off in my dashboard, and it'll let me know there's like a notification I get. So I guess look forward to that sometime soon in the coming week or so, is what it said. That's pretty exciting. So lots of really exciting stuff this week. In addition to all that, we've got some brand new games that have been announced this week. I don't know are we in some sort of like I remember when E3 was supposed to happen this past year, and they did all sorts of obviously, events and conferences, and they put out all that. Are we in a spot right now that there would normally be a lot of some sort of event like that? Because this week it's like, so the first off, we got Indiana Jones game coming from Bethesda. They put out a short little trailer, no, not showing gameplay or anything, but Bethesda's making an Indiana Jones game, which is pretty wild. A super loved franchise. I've never seen an Indiana Jones movie. We talked about that last week on the podcast. I might be watching my first Indiana Jones movie this week, and I think it kind of seals the deal for us that will be we've got this new idea going forward where we're gonna all watch a movie on the weekends, and I'll play the game based off that movie the next week. I think it's kind of put a nail in the coffin. It has to be Indiana Jones. I have to see it now. But yeah, we'll see. Indiana Jones game from Bethesda could be cool. I've got to be honest with you. My personal feelings on it. I've kind of been a little salty with Bethesda since Fallout 76. I feel like there was some really, really not great decisions made with how that was handled. And I'm not even talking about at launch. For me, the problem, and I won't go too far into this because I could talk about this forever, but essentially there was an issue where I had a lot of fun with the game. The amount of space you had to hold items in your chest was extremely low. They said they would up it. They said they didn't want to break things, and they slowly upped it little by little after months and months. And to me, it was just like, I don't want to have to give up items that I really like in order to, it's the game's all about looting. So it was like, I don't know, it just felt really off for me. Like, there's no reason they shouldn't be able to do this. What's the deal? Well, then come to find out, I paid $60 for the game. They moved to a season pass model, and then throw in unlimited storage in that. So it was like they were gatekeeping storage. And to me, that just felt really grimy and dirty. And yeah, it's kind of left a bad taste in my mouth with Bethesda stuff coming out, which sucks because like Deathloop is supposed to be coming out. That game looks sick. But one thing, I was talking to Ike about this this week, and he was mentioning that Bethesda got bought out by Microsoft, and to maybe give them a second chance, maybe not stay so soured at Bethesda. And I don't know. I'll say that, like, for me, I'm at a place where I'm not going to instantly say no, but I'm definitely more hesitant to get involved off the bat because of stuff like that. And I feel like everybody's got maybe, there's enough companies that have done enough stuff to, leave that bad taste in the mouth. I'm sure, people have that feeling towards EA and, there's, or 2K or, whatever the company may be, Activision or whoever it may be. But yeah, Indiana Jones for Bethesda. Looking forward to seeing more information on that. I'll probably be more hyped for it after I maybe watch a couple of these Indiana Jones movies. In addition to that, Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury got shown off. Some gameplay of the new expansion coming to Super Mario 3D World, which was on the Wii U. It's now coming to Switch. And in addition to that, it's getting some extra DLC thrown in. Bowser's Fury looked sick. Had some really, really wild, a really gigantic boss battle. Bowser looked almost like Calamity Ganon from Breath of the Wild. Again, one of those things, if you haven't seen it, you need to go watch. You should go watch all of these trailers, honestly. But yeah, I don't know. For me, I actually was just recently playing 3D World on the Wii U with little Cliffy. So much fun, and I'm glad that we did. We will definitely play some more of that. But because I currently have access to it, I don't know if I'm super in on picking up that one at full price. But I will say that if you have not played 3D World and you have a Switch, and especially if you've got young ones at home or someone to play with, I think it's a great purchase. I think you should definitely look into it. But yeah, everything they showed off gameplay wise looked great. So, and I think that drops at the end of, I believe that drops in February was the release date for that. Another one coming out, another big reveal this week, Ubisoft. I never know if it's Ubisoft or Ubisoft. I don't know how to say it. But Ubisoft or Ubisoft is working on a brand new Star Wars title, a brand new story-driven open world Star Wars adventure, as per their tweet. And again, I don't know. I feel like I keep saying that, like, I'm not huge into Star Wars, but I feel like there's been enough Star Wars stuff recently that I'm slowly getting more into Star Wars. So it'll be cool to see what happens with that. Unfortunately, out of all these things that all the companies that have been putting stuff out today, Ubisoft or Ubisoft is really, like, outside of Bethesda, another company is the only other company really to me that I kind of personally have an issue with. And to me, that kind of just dates back to Rainbow Six Siege. When I used to play that, prior to streaming, they had some, to me, it was like transparency issues when it came to pricing of some of their operators and stuff that they were releasing. And I don't know, not as huge of a gripe with that, but I mean, I've done Just Dance streams. Not a huge fan of how they package up their content as far as pricing when it comes to that. So again, Ubisoft, it's not that I won't play something from them. It's just that I'm a little bit more hesitant with their games. So, but exciting, very exciting stuff. Cool to see that they're working on an open world Star Wars game. I don't know. Definitely will keep my eyes on it. That's for sure. And as of today, we have a brand new reveal only a couple hours ago. You may or may not have seen it yet. Is Nintendo has announced a release date for Pokemon Snap, the new Pokemon Snap. I believe it is April. I'll double check this real quick. I think it's April 23rd. But the new Pokemon Snap is coming out soon-ish. April 30th. Thank you, chat. And definitely have some super fond memories with Pokemon Snap growing up. I hope it's as true to the original as possible, at least in terms of like form. Obviously, there's going to be way more new Pokemon with it. But to me, for anybody who doesn't know what Pokemon Snap is, it's basically an on-rails photography game. You get put on a cart, you go down a preset path. There are different Pokemon. You get points for taking pictures of them. If they're doing cute shit, you get more points, and that's awesome. You could throw a little apple at their ass and do a little dance, shake a little Pikachu ass, and you'd be like, grab a picture of that, and that's more points. It's just wild. It's really like my friend Nas put me on Twitter explained it in the way that like back then it was the first time we got to take a look at Pokemon more like in their quote unquote natural habitat. As opposed to like just being sprites in the game. And that's 100% what that was and why that was awesome. And so I hope that we just get more of that. Another big part to me of why that game was a lot of fun. There's so many secrets and Easter eggs. Yeah, exactly. There's so many secrets and Easter eggs. Like it'd be like you throw an apple next to this Pikachu or next to this Pokemon, and he's gonna push Charmander into this volcano, and when that happens, he turns into a Charmeleon, and now you can get the picture of the Charmeleon. Or they have different paths you can unlock. And I really just, if I feel like it has to have it. There's not really too much to that game outside of ride around on a preset path. You're taking pictures of Pokemon. I feel like it all kind of boils into like, trying to get the Pokemon to do different stuff. So I'm really excited for it. Especially for little Cliffy, who has never played Pokemon Snap before, and he's huge into Pokemon. I'm sure he's going to be stoked for it. So I'm very, very much excited for that. I got to say, out of all the games that we talked about getting, reveals this week, out of those 4, Pokemon Snap's, I think the one that I can say easily guaranteed we are going to stream that. So, yeah, April 30th, less than 4 months out. Little over 3. So, yeah, it's going to be awesome. I can't wait. And hopefully, like I said, I'm not really sure where or why all these new reveals are coming from. That's for sure. Keep sending them out. I don't know. I have no idea why, but it's just been a great week for that. And just a good week in general. Honestly, I feel like this week has been much improved over last week for obvious reasons. As discussed in episode 4 of the podcast, but definitely been a better week here. I hope it's been a better week for all of you. And with that, I think that's going to wrap it up for our news. And this has been a much shorter podcast this week, but we've got some questions to get to that you all sent in that I definitely want to answer. So it's time for our questions from all of y'all, which is maybe what we named that segment now. A question from Bodega Kitty. Shout outs to Bodega Kitty. Some solid questions so far. How do you describe what you do on Twitch to little Cliffy? From a kid's perspective, it could just look like you're playing video games instead of spending time with him. But of course, you're working. Is he pretty understanding of that? I think that's a great question for a couple reasons on a couple different levels. So yes, he does understand. It's funny, actually, when I got this question, I took it to him and I wanted to double check with him and said, hey, you understand that when I'm playing games and working, I'm not just playing video games and not spending time with you. You understand that it's work. And he said, yeah. And he's like, but you know what? He's like, I do want you to spend time with me though. So tell them no. And I'm like, well, that's not the question. You don't just get to But he does understand it. And I also, I tried to explain to him, that, regardless of whether I was working on Twitch and streaming or what I was doing, more than I would be spending time away from him no matter what. There's really no way around that. There's no way for me to spend every day, every hour with him. And, I'm very happy with what I do, and I'm very lucky with what I do. And that I can work from home and I don't have to spend time leaving my house, and that's extra time that I can spend with him there. And, I even went down and broke down all of the jobs I've done over the past how many years. And that, I don't know, just there's a lot of people who do a lot of things that they don't like to do, and they also have to spend time away from their kids. So it's just kind of the way of the world. But no, he understands that I'm not just like neglecting him, which would be horrible. I make that very clear to him. He understands it. So, but yeah, I wanted to take this question a little bit farther, because it's something that's messed with me personally. And I've told you all recently that with this podcast, I want to be more open with you all, in terms of like the challenges of fatherhood and also challenges with mental health and stuff. I can tell you that as a father in the past, it's something that struggled with my mental health, and the fact that while streaming, when I stream, I do my best to be the funny guy, right? The entertaining dude, make everybody laugh, talk a bunch of mess. Coming off of streaming, when I close stream, I go spend time with my son. There's definitely times where like I'm just like not that level of enthusiasm or entertaining, right? And like, for a long time, that fucked with me. Personally, that like I felt like I was being very unfair to my son. I felt like I was like, I'm out here being funny for everybody else, and I'm not able to give him that same energy. Feeling guilty about a lot of that, and it's something that really fucked with me for a while. And also, I'll say that I know I'm not the only person that felt like that, because I've heard other streamers talk about that. I can say that. After going through therapy and talking with a therapist, I've come to the conclusion that that's really not a fair take. You know what I mean? When I'm on stream personally, and this is for maybe anybody else who streams and maybe feels, if you're out there listening to what I'm saying, maybe you've gone through this as well. My perspective on it is that when I'm on stream, I'm an elevated version of myself, right? I'm here to entertain everybody, to make everybody laugh, make everybody have a good time. That's the goal always. It's unreasonable to expect to be like that 100% of the time, because that's just not, that's not the case. That's not who I am. So, I feel like for me to feel guilt about that, for not bringing that same energy, I think it's not reasonable to expect it. And so to hold myself accountable for that is also not fair. So I don't know. That's kind of just a little extra tidbit on top of that question that I felt like needed to be talked about. I feel like a lot of people, a lot of streamers, deal with, a lot of situations like that, and there's plenty more of them. But it helps to hear people talk about it. So I know it helped me when I heard a friend of mine talking about it not too long ago, and get that discussion, get that conversation going. So shout outs to Bodega Kitty for the awesome question, which led to some other stuff. Another question from Jen Bell this week. We got like 3 or 4 questions here. We're going to try to get through them. Did you ever used to look forward to sleepovers as a kid so you could stay up late to play certain video games that your friends had? I remember weekend-long sleepovers at my best friend's house to play Final Fantasy III at 9 or 10 years old. The answer to that is hell yeah. Absolutely. Jen, thank you for the question. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I was a Sega kid growing up, and my friends had Super Nintendos. And so anytime I went over to a friend's house, we would be playing Super Mario World or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the side-scrolling one. I also vividly remember many nights at my house, friends coming over to my house, and we play probably more so along the lines of when I got a 64, but like I remember getting Turok for my birthday when I was younger, and having friends from school come over and having a sleepover, and it was like, we are beating this shit tonight. I don't know why that was always the goal. It was always like, we're getting this game, whether we were renting it from the video store or whatever. It was like, we're getting this game and we're beating it tonight. It's going down. And then like, very rarely would that happen. But lots of fun times and good times had in the wee hours of the morning with friends when I was little. So yeah, thank you for that question, Jen Bell. Next one comes to us, and I think this is our last one for this week, I believe. This one comes to us from Cassandra. Cliffy, what was your first job? What were your most and least favorite things about it? Is there anything you're glad you learned in that job? Best, worst memory? So my first job, the first job I ever had that was not legal, was I bussed tables underage at a restaurant that my stepmother worked at, which I'm sure many people have done. I think the statute of limitations, I think they're fine. I don't even know if that restaurant exists anymore. That I did for some little extra cash on like every other weekend or whatever. Was cool. The first job I ever had on the books was working at landscaping for Governor State University. Is a college. I forget what they call those type of colleges. It's like community colleges. The first 2 years, it's the second 2 years of college that they focus on. But I got it there the summer after I graduated high school. What were my most and least favorite things about it? Most favorite thing for sure was definitely got to be outside during the summer. Got to get some sun, got to get some exercise. It was a big campus, so it wasn't like just doing a small amount of, it was a lot. And it was a large team of people who were on there in charge of like, cleaning out the garbage cans and like mulching tree beds and, edging and doing all sorts of lawn work. My least favorite things about it, just the fact that it was probably, the work was never done. I mean, I guess that's kind of how it is for most things, but it was always like, there's always something to do. Every day the garbages need to be taken out. Every day this, that, and the other needs to be taken out. Those aspects of that job, I was definitely more interested in like, the kind of one-time stuff that would go on, if we had to, create a new tree bed or create a new something, definitely more interesting. Anything you glad you learned in that job? Not really. Not a lot of that stuck with me. Best, worst memory. I don't know if I have a best memory. Worst memory would probably be there was these giant, they're called hawthorn trees. I don't know if anybody's familiar with those, but there are these trees that have giant spikes. They're like 3-4 inch long spikes. And you'd be wearing a hat. They would tell you to wear a hat when you go to put the mulch down under the tree bed there. But definitely remember, at least on more than one occasion, having to go and work underneath those trees and just getting like large, wooden spikes implanted into my head. Not fun, not very fun. And I don't know, some of the best memories, I said I didn't have one, but I guess one of the better memories is just, and maybe one thing it was one of my first experiences working with it was my first job experience ever, but working with like a really diverse group of people. I came up in a diverse community, in my school system and stuff, but like from like a work perspective is a little bit different, but we had people of all ethnicities and ages, working. There was like older guys on the job who had been there, and they were like the full-time cats that was their main job. But then there was also like a group of people who were younger, who were just there for like the summer. So it was kind of cool to like, and we would be paired up like pretty much every day with different people, depending on what jobs needed to be done. So it was really cool working with like a bunch of different people. And that was probably like one of my first work experiences with that. So something fond I take from that, I guess. Oh yeah. Shout out to Cassandra for the Cliffy job history, the Cliffy resume question. But that's pretty much going to wrap it up for this week. Like I said, a little bit shorter week this week, but a little less heavy, a little lighter, and some really cool stuff to look forward to going forward. Again, we've got our community boost thing that we're in the slow roll open beta for to look out for. Also, if you haven't already, we still have our community cookbook that we are accepting submissions for until the end of January. Just a larger event trying to get everybody involved. Cooking is a passion of mine, and I'm not a professional cook by any means, but if you've got something that's your favorite thing to cook, or maybe the thing you cook best, it might even be just something funky, whatever it is. Come into our chat. I'll have the link underneath the YouTube video for you to send in. But put it in. We're going to compile it, release it for free online, and then we're going to look into getting a physical version made, and we'll donate the proceeds and stuff to charity. But yeah, we've got that. We've got our game and movie thing coming up this weekend again. I'm gonna make sure that we got a way to stream the Indiana Jones game, but the first Indiana Jones game, and I think the first Indiana Jones movie, and I think the game that goes along with that is on Atari. So look forward to that possibly happening at some point next week on our morning streams. But yeah, other than that, have fun. Not have fun. Thank you for watching. I hope you had fun. I hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Have a great day.